Merging with Source. We have remembered to a greater extent that you all have, and what we have remembered is that we are Source energy beings. The process of becoming who you really are goes beyond the knowing of that truth. A remembering of who you really are involves living it. It involves being the truth, which is that all beings are unconditional love incarnate, and that we are all exploring Source, which is another way of saying that we are all exploring ourselves. You, because of the density in which you choose to incarnate, had many other aspects of self that you could identify with, besides that true nature, and so you did. And you've done this lifetime after lifetime on Earth. Now it's time to do something different. It's time to do something different. It's time to live that truth and experience it. When you get to this point and you still have a physical body, it can be confusing because of your system of duality and how black and white things have always been for you. You tend to think that you either are Source or you are human and physical. And then some of you believe that very, very special people have had the experience of being both at the same time, and instead of being like them, most humans have decided to worship them. You are quite beautiful in your forgetting because of all the experiences the forgetting has allowed you to have. But what is even more beautiful is to witness you in your remembering. And what is unique about this journey that you are on is that you can be fifth dimensional, which means you'll still have a physical body, and at the same time, you can remember yourselves as Source. This version of the fifth dimension you are all creating is about integrating and merging the two, rather than seeing there as being a very solid border between physical and non-physical, human being and Source. And now you are even moving beyond that belief that there's a solid line between human and extraterrestrial. And that is why dissolving barriers is so important. You are dissolving the barriers that have been placed in your own consciousness so that you can have the experience of being whole and complete once again. Physical upgrades and ascension symptoms. We are particularly interested in keeping tabs on how you are all doing in regards to the upgrades that have been ongoing to your physical body. The reason why we are so interested in this topic is because of the way that many of you who are awake have come to realize that these ascension symptoms are normal and natural, and we like to see how much you have influenced the collective consciousness of humanity. We would like nothing more than to see an individual, who we would define as unawakened, have one of these symptoms in their physical body and come to the realization that it was normal and a natural occurrence. We would love to see more of you letting go of your worries and your fears in regard to your physical vehicles. We would love to see you all just listening to your bodies rather than medicating them so much and having so much unnecessary surgeries. We want you to realize that your bodies are dynamic machines, and sometimes these machines need upgrades. We also want you to recognize that your upgrades are a positive sign. They mean that you are closer to having your fifth dimensional light bodies. You are, of course, well on your way, but how you are going to get there and when is still yet to be determined. We just want to see you making that journey with joy and love in your hearts rather than fear and worry. In a typical third-dimensional lifetime, you would come to expect a gradual decline in your faculties and a deterioration of your physical body, leading to either a sudden death or an illness that would lead to death. Now is the time to let go of that ancient programming that has nothing to do with who you are today as ascending beings of light and love. You are infinite and you are eternal, and you are taking your bodies with you to the fifth dimension. You will have a physical body, it just won't be as dense as the one you have now. And that is why these upgrades are necessary, and that is why we would love to see less freaking out every little issue with your physical bodies. What we are suggesting instead is that you slow down, rest, relax, meditate, hydrate. Give yourselves love and compassion, especially the part of you that is having the hardest time doing a very important upgrade. These upgrades will continue, of course, and we hope that you all continue to stay aligned with your knowing that ascension symptoms are nothing to worry about, so that you can be the influencers to the rest of the human collective that you were born to be. The Great Earth Experiment. We are very satisfied with the results of the experiment that planet Earth has been and continues to be. Earth has been seeded by beings from all across the galaxy and beyond, and look at how you are managing to harmonize all of these energies. It has been challenging, of course. There have been a lot of issues, including attempts at genocide and the loss of species of animals, but yet, there you are, still floating in space, still finding a way to make it work, in spite of all your differences and all your highly charged emotions. This is something to feel very proud of. Certainly there are lots of things going on right now that are on Earth to not feel so proud of, but the truth is that you are coexisting, maybe not with those much acceptance, forgiveness, and unconditional love as you will someday, but at least those of you who are awake know that it is a goal. And more humans are awakening every single day, so you don't have to worry about carrying the load all by yourself. This is and always was meant to be a group effort for all the various energies that are there on Earth. You are all attempting something that has gigantic implications. The ripple effect will be felt throughout the galaxy when there is peace on Earth, and there will be peace on Earth. And we're not talking about hundreds of years from now. We are talking about within the next decade. That is how much peaceful energy you have been downloading and generating from within you. And of course, you have the help of your planet animal kingdom, you have the help of many extraterrestrial beings, and you have the help of many non-physical collectives and beings, like ourselves. We are not so obsessed with the finish line, however, that we can't enjoy this moment of acknowledgement. You have come so far just to be in the fourth dimension and on the verge of shifting to the fifth. We want you to congratulate yourself, pat yourself on the back, and know that it's going to get better, and it's going to get easier, and you are all a humongous part of it. Creating your path of ascension. You are discovering the path that works best for you. You are not discovering the one true path that you are then meant to shout about from the rooftops so that everyone else can enjoy that same certainty that you have about your path. You are not here on earth now to walk the path of someone else. You are creating the path as you go, and that is as it's supposed to be because you are doing something that is unprecedented. You are shifting from the third dimension to the fifth dimension on a planet that is doing the exact same thing. You are also part of a universal shift, which means that we are all shifting together. We often tell you about how we are examining this, discovering this, and exploring something else because we are also making this up as we go, and we are the ninth dimensionals. If this was a paint-by-numbers sort of situation, it would be less exciting. It would bring less experience to source, and therefore it would be somewhat pointless. But because we are all making this up as we go, it is fun, and it is new, and it is definitely worth the journey of discovery that we are all on together. We make suggestions to you, but we are not dealing in absolutes here. We want you to go out there and discover what it is that you want to experience. And then we want to see you create that experience as a part of your own journey of ascension. And of course, we want to be part of it as much as you can. But ultimately, you are all in the driver's seat. You are the rock stars of this universal ascension journey. And we are all so impressed and thrilled by the progress that we see in humanity. So please respect yourselves enough to know that you have everything that you need within you to create the path that will give you the best possible experience of this ascension journey. Your connections to other beings. We have been intrigued by the recent uptick in the number of humans who are exploring the different ways that you have of connecting to other beings. There has been an increased awareness and an increased interest in extraterrestrial life and in the connections that you can make to non-physical beings as well. More and more of you are exploring your ability to make these connections. Rather than seeing others do it and assuming that they have some sort of special power of gift, you are exploring your own abilities, and we are very pleased to see the results of those explorations. And of course, more and more other beings are reaching out to you as well. So for example, you have a sighting of a ship, or you'll have a dream where you're interacting with ETs, angels, ascended masters, fairies, and other beings that are reaching out to you. We see an increased interest in dragons, mermaids, and unicorns. We know that the realm that once seemed imagined to you now is becoming very real. And since there are many paths to awakening your consciousness, this path of connection to other beings is not only becoming more well-traveled, but is also becoming more inclusive. The more you can recognize that these connections exist, the better. The more you can celebrate the diversity that you have there on Earth, the better. The more inclusive that you can be of others, regardless of what form their spirituality takes, the better. You are all unique, and your paths to knowing the truth of who you are all very different. So we encourage you to keep seeking these connections, and we are, of course, among the groups and beings who are reaching out to all of you. Different paths of ascension. We have continued our efforts to enhance your experience of our energy, and we are noticing that more and more individuals every day are becoming more receptive to us and what we offer. The illumination of your conscience is something that we have been tracking for quite some time. We are very pleased to report that this awakening that has been underway for quite some time is reaching individuals that we were unsure about the possibility of reaching. Therefore, we invite all of you to join us in expecting more individuals to surprise you as you have surprised us. Now, we know that a person's actions speak volumes, and it is not so much about what a person believes it is as how a person lives that is important. Therefore, if someone has very different beliefs, you don't need to just write that person off as asleep and therefore not worth connecting with. There are many individuals who will take a very different path from the ones that you are all on. Those individuals will also be a part of this journey of ascension through their acts of kindness. If there's anything at all that will inspire a shift in consciousness, it is the coming together of individuals who are quite different. And in that coming together, you bring about a gigantic shift that will ripple through the different star systems in this galaxy. We invite you to connect with those you wouldn't normally connect with and to look for that common ground that you share. The common ground that is a desire for all people on this planet of yours to be fed, clothed, and treated with love and respect. We are the Arcturian Council, and we have enjoyed connecting with you.